really didn't have the chance to do so much.
Absolutely. A happy new year from wherever you're watching us. We are wishing you a happy new year because this is the first show of the People's Court. Good evening and welcome. My name is George Maringa.
Surprisingly, I'm meeting George for the first time, so happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
He was asking me how my New Year is and where I went to for the holidays and all that. But it was pretty much a good one. I hope yours was.
It was indeed.
Should I say happy birthday?
Thank you so much. A belated one.
A belated one, yeah. In that festivity moment, George had a chance to celebrate his. So welcome on board once again. It is a happy New Year and I hope that yours is coming up well. My name is Linda Lela. We do not get to meet them for the first time, but at least for People's Court.
Absolutely.
It is the first time. I hope you've had a good one. I hope it is coming well. And certainly we're crossing fingers for a beautiful 2024. It is time for People's Court where we engage you and we also give you a chance to speak to us.
Yes, absolutely. And tonight, we look at matters education, the state of education. Remember, this coming at the backdrop of the release of the 2023 KCSE examinations. Linda, we did see that, parents had quite a tough time accessing the results this time through our web portal. We shall be discussing, what, is going on in the education sector. It is the largest beneficiary of the budget of
this year.
Yeah, this year.
They say it's about 700 billion.
Yeah,
but largely it has been, amongst the largest beneficiaries every single year when it comes to the budget. But then the question is, why is it that we appear not to be getting it right on the question of education? And those are some of the questions that we'll be asking tonight. So as we look at what played out yesterday as the exams were released, the biggest question is just where are we headed in relation to the growth of the education sector? All this hullabaloo, what will it take for us to quell that and ensure that we have our students getting the best and quality, everything to do with education? So basically, we'd love for them to interact with us. As always, the hashtag is a daily report and as well, People Daily. People's Court. People's Court. Why did we say daily report? Oh, it's because of the daily thing.
Like
and the hashtag
had a number on you, Linda. Of course.
The hashtag, well, there you go, welcome on board. And as they were telling me, welcome back to work. Well, it's a good thing. Karibu sana. At Linda_Lela, at
George Maringa _ Victor Muyakane is away, but of course you can tag him as well at Muyakane. Use the hashtag daily report, hashtag Peoples.
In a bit, we get to that conversation, but first,
the
highlights.
Tonight, President William Ruto drops another bombshell on the relationship between the judiciary and the executive.
Na watu wengine wananiambia ati kwa sababu ile serikali ilipita ati walikuwa na budget ya kuongana kotini. Ati mimi niende nitengeneze budget ya kuongana kotini.
These coming days after the head of state had gone slow on the third arm of government.
Badala ya kuongana kotini, tutamaliza ufisadi kotini.
3 people have lost their lives and 3 others are currently recovering from severe injuries following an attack by bandits in Baringo North,
where they were ambushed by bandits, or I can call them wakora thugs, while they were riding home on motorbikes.
Plus, the state has a 14-day deadline to bring charges against the controversial preacher Paul McKenzie. A court has ruled that failure to prefer charges within this time frame will result in the release of McKenzie and 28 other suspects.
Quite a show we have for you tonight. Our SMS line is 22047. Start with your name, where you're watching us from, as well as your feedback and question regarding our topic of discussion tonight, the state of the education sector. Our colleague Rhoda Nyamai is on sign language interpretation tonight. We thank you for choosing TV47 to inform you. To our top story, where two more people have this evening been shot dead by suspected bandits after 3 others were shot dead earlier in Baringo North. 3 others are nursing serious injuries after they were also attacked by bandits in the same area. And as Elizabeth Atieno now reports, the deceased are members of the same family and were traveling to Chemoy area in Baringo County when they were ambushed.
This thick forest in Sangorok area spares the thick blood of 3 family members, a father, a mother, and their 3-year-old son, who were ambushed and shot dead by bandits in the wee hours of Tuesday morning.
Akapiga mtoto wa miaka miwili risasi ya kichwa, akapiga baba yao hapa kwa kiuno, na mama tujajua ni kubani gani.
The 3 were traveling on 2 motorbikes from Marigat to Chemoi for an initiation ceremony where they were ambushed by the gun-wielding bandits. The father and his son died on the spot, while the mother died on her way to hospital. The motorcyclists were able to escape but were seriously injured and are currently receiving treatment at the Baringo County Referral Hospital, while the 3 bodies are preserved at the Baringo County Referral Morgue.
The other rider with the other motorbike, where there were 3, one got some serious injury. That is the rider, and he got an injury, a gunshot wound at around the upper knee region and the right humerus, where he's bleeding profusely, but we have managed to stop the bleeding, and he's already gotten transfusion, 2 pints, and we have 2 extra pints, but he's already in theater, awaiting to be attended by our orthopedic surgeon.
The number of those dead from banditry attacks has risen to 5 this evening after 2 more people were shot dead at the junction heading to Kagir in Baringo North. The 2 were checking on their charcoal when armed bandits fired gunshots at close range, killing them on the spot. The 2 bodies are yet to be collected from the scene. Today's attack has raised tension among residents in Chemoi, Chepkesin, Yatta, Ngarakuto, and Kosile as schools reopen for the first term. Elizabeth Atieno, TV 47.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for that. A tragic accident occurred at a twin bridge in Mau Summit on the Nakuru-Eldoret Highway, resulting in the death of at least 15 individuals and left other 30 injured. The collision between a bus and a shuttle was confirmed by the area police chief, Judah Gathenge, and as Chichi Josephine now reports, according to data from the National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA, it shows that as of January this year, 84 people have so far lost their lives in road accidents.
It is at this spot that 15 people lost their lives early today and 38 others left injured after a bus and a shuttle collided at Twin Bridge Mau Summit on the Nakuru-Eldoret Highway. According to Kureso Inovo CPD Judah Mathenge, the accident involved a 14-seater matatu belonging to Northwest Sacco and a bus belonging to Classic Kings of Congo.
Today in the morning at around 2:45 a.m., a grisly fatal road accident took place at Twin Bridge, that is around Nakuru-Eldoret Highway, between this Nissan matatu that is behind us and a bus that is on the other side. And out of the accident, we lost 15 lives.
Hii basi mguu ilibust. Naye dereva akashindwa na udhibiti wa hiyo gari. Sasa kupande ya chini kulikuwa na Nissan inapanda. So hiyo Nissan ikakuja basi ikakuja ikagonga Nissan na ikaingiza kwa mtaro.
The deceased include 8 adults and 7 children, among them 5 girls and 2 boys, as 38 passengers escaped death with minor injuries and were rushed to Molo Sub-County Hospital, and bodies of the deceased moved to the Molo Sub-County Hospital pending autopsy.
Several people were injured, with minor injuries, and we were able to evacuate them to Moro Sub-County Hospital, where so far they have been treated and they have been discharged.
In a press statement released by the National Transport and Safety Authority (NTSA), analysis indicates that the accident is attributed to lane indiscipline and dangerous overtaking on the part of the bus driver, leading to a head-on collision with the Northwest Sacco Matatu. According to residents, the Twin Bridge area has been known as a black spot due to many accidents on the road, and are therefore urging the government to find proper ways of finding a solution.
Hii inaweza kuita black spot kwa sababu ajali ambazo tumekuwa tukipatana nazo hapa zimekuwa nyingi, watoto wamepoteza uhai, pia watu wazima hapa.
Kitu yenye ningeweza kuomba tu serikali kwa hii area yetu, tengeneze hii barabara ipanuliwe kidogo. Ndio magari za juu kama for example hiyo basi venye ilipasuka mguu haingeguza gari yenye ilikuwa inapanda.
Statistics from the National Transport and Safety Authority (NTSA) show that as of January 7th, 2024, Kenya recorded 84 fatalities from road accidents compared to the same period in 2023, which recorded 72 fatalities. In summary, 31 pedestrians died, 35 were left with serious injuries, 7 drivers died, 17 were left seriously injured, 16 passengers died, 97 were left injured, 6 pillion passengers died, and 41 left injured also. 1 pedal cyclist died and 1 left with serious injuries. 23 motorcyclists died, while 43 of them were left with serious injuries. Today's accident adds up to the statistics, leading to the National Transport and Safety Authority (NTSA) sounding an alarm regarding the rising number of accidents and fatalities on the Kenyan roads. Chichi Josephine, TV47.
Thank you, Chichi, for that. May their souls rest in peace. Tonight, President William Ruto has stated he will not use taxpayer funds to bribe judges in order for the government to obtain favorable rulings. The president, who spoke in Uasin Gishu County, where he commissioned various affordable housing projects, revealed that he resisted attempts by unnamed individuals to set aside a special budget to bribe judges. The president spoke as the Judicial Service Commission (JSC) defended judges, saying they are impartial and follow evidence when making rulings.
President William Ruto, while commissioning various affordable housing projects spread across 3 constituencies in his backyard of Uasin Gishu County, spoke tough on fighting corruption in the judiciary, while revealing that he rejected a proposal by unnamed individuals to set aside a special budget to bribe judges for the government to obtain favorable rulings, a precedent he says was set in the previous administration.
Hawa watoto wa mama mboga na mahasla hawana kazi. Na mimi ni wakili wao. Na mimi siwezi kuongana kotini. Badala ya kuongana kotini, tutamaliza ufisadi kotini. Nyenye mnanielewa? Ati kuna watu wengine wananiambia ati kwa sababu ile serikali ilipita ati walikuwa na budget ya kuongana kotini. Ati mimi niende nitengeneze budget ya kuongana kotini. Mnataka ati pesa yenu itumike ati kuongana kotini?
Kusema na kutenda.
The president, rubbing the institution charged with the affairs of the judiciary, the Judicial Service Commission, the wrong way, with the commission which had paid a visit to the Embu law courts, telling the president and other politicians to stop the threats and produce evidence.
You have to abide by the constitution at the end of the day, because it is not a question of making threats or making accusations that are not backed by evidence. All we are saying is that we abide by the constitution, which protects the independence of the judiciary, just like also the other institutions also have their role under the constitution. Everybody to just keep on their lane.
President Ruto, who interacted with locals during the commissioning of the affordable housing units, has however refused to back down on his claims on a judiciary he says has been captured by powerful individuals to frustrate his housing agenda.
Mahakama ni wafanyikazi wa wananchi wa taifa letu la Kenya. Ni kweli ama si kweli? na kwa sababu wako na madharau, kwa sababu wanasema wao wako na pesa ati ya kununua wakili, ati wako na pesa ya kuhongana kotini.
Despite JSC and LSK admitting that there are a few corrupt elements in the judiciary, the two institutions have reminded the president that power is transient, calling out the president and his supporters for doublespeak.
You may not see the need for an independent judiciary probably when you're in power. But when you're not in power, that's when you realize the importance of that institution, because it is the same institution that will be able to serve and protect you. So judiciary will remain independent regardless, because that's what is expected of it by the 2010 Constitution.
Apul Kamau, TV47.
Thank you, Apollo, for that. To the McKenzies' perhaps looming freedom, where the state now has 14 days to prefer charges against controversial preacher Paul McKenzie, with senior resident magistrate Yusuf Abdallah Shikanda sitting at Shanzu Law Courts now warning that he will set McKenzie and 28 other suspects free if the ultimatum lapses. Mwege William has the details.
Controversial preacher Paul McKenzie's days behind bars could come to an end if an ultimatum set by a magistrate lapses. A court in Shanzu has declined a request to detain McKenzie for more days as requested by the Directorate of Criminal Investigations DCI in a miscellaneous application Tuesday. The magistrate court directing the state to prefer charges against McKenzie and co-accused within the next 14 days or he will be released alongside other suspects. Magistrate Yusuf Abdallah Shikanda highlighting that McKenzie and the rest of the suspects have been in custody in what is the longest pre-charge detention in the history of the country following the promulgation of the Constitution of Kenya. The DCI has for 117 days detained McKenzie and others in a miscellaneous application presented to the court under provisions of Prevention of Terrorism Act and that of the Victim Protection Act. McKenzie is being investigated for influencing his followers to starve to death in order to meet their maker. The magistrate cautioned that the time earlier granted to the state was sufficient time within which the pending investigations ought to have been completed. In June of last year, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki declared that McKenzie will never be released from prison. Kindiki asserted that even if the court were to grant McKenzie freedom, he will be reincarcerated. The CS criticized the judiciary for what he perceived as releasing criminals under the guise of respecting the Constitution. McKenzie, who is the founder of Good News International Church, is being held in connection with the deaths of over 400 people in a suspected starvation cult in Shakahola, Kilifi County. More than 429 people have been confirmed dead in connection with the cult so far, with over 600 people still reported missing. Mwege William, TV47.
To education matters now, of course, that is the basis of our conversation tonight. And as schools commence the first term amid economic challenges, members of parliament are in disagreement regarding the disbursement of CDF funds. While Kenya Kwanza MPs assert that the funds have been released, Azimio coalition MPs maintain that money is yet to be released. The development emerges one day after National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah confirmed that at least 10 billion shillings has been dispatched to schools.
As students commence the first term in various regions of the country, there is a growing rift among members of parliament regarding the allocation of CDF funds. This division arises just a day after President Ruto's announcement that 10 billion shillings will be disbursed between today and tomorrow. But by today evening, MPs allied to Azimio La Umoja claim that no CDF funds have so far been released.
And because of that, we want to tell Treasury that we are not joking and we are going to take them head on. When it comes to issues regarding Kenyans, we don't joke. We are going to take you head on. And please release that money today. Because we are not going to have young people missing chances in national schools.
This situation is likely to put them in distress as a significant number of parents are currently eagerly awaiting the disbursement of bursary funds.
CDF allocation should be 35% of the on bursaries should be 35% of the CDF allocation, which translates to about 18.5 billion. No single cent has been disbursed in this respect, with the consequence that there are many pupils and students who are stranded all over this country. As we speak, CDF allocation for the year should be 63 billion shillings. Because we are in the third quarter, by now we should have received at least 75% of this money, which translates to just about 46 billion.
Yesterday, National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah asked parents not to worry about the issue as money is going to be released in time. On Monday, the Minister of Education affirmed that the Exchequer had released school capitations amidst an uproar that the delay in the release is eroding fair and equitable learning in public institutions. The debate is coming at a critical point since a section of MPs feel that they are likely to fall short of the promises they made to the public.
Up to now, mpaka saa hivi tunaongea hivi. Walifanya spika wetu akatuamina, spika akiongea katika kiti chake bunge ni sheria. Haliongea kama sheria, ametoa sheria lenye halikufanyika. Sasa CS wa Treasury tunakuambia saa hii, jioni hii tunataka pesa 75% kwa imeingia kwa account.
In December of last year, Treasury Cabinet Secretary Njuguna Ndung'u, while testifying before the Parliamentary Finance Committee, said that the public coffers were facing a shortage of funds. He highlighted that revenue collection had fallen short, making it challenging for the government to achieve its financial objectives. Paul Kirobi, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, doctors in Embu County are set to go on strike starting midnight tonight after the lapse of their 21 days strike notice. According to the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union KMPDU Upper Eastern Chair Dr. Dennis Mugambi, despite giving the strike notice, no action had been taken by the county government, leaving them with no option than to institute an industrial action.
According to KMPDU Upper Eastern Chair Dr. Dennis Mugambi, despite them giving a 21-day strike notice, no action has been taken by the county government, leaving them with no option than to institute an industrial action.
Today, we have met in Embu County with Embu doctors to launch the strike of all doctors of Embu County, and the strike shall commence tonight at 12 a.m.
Further, Mugambi says the county government has failed to implement a collective bargaining agreement on cross-cutting issues including stagnation, shortage of doctors, non-remittance of statutory deductions and denial of study leave.
Despite us giving a strike notice of 21 days concerning matters of promotion, concerning matters of non-payment of statutory deductions, concerning matters of conversion of doctors from inferior contractual agreements that have been put forward by Embu County government, none of these particular issues that Embu County government has been able to address.
The doctors who expressed willingness for an open and constructive dialogue with the county government say if the issues are not going to be addressed in the next 2 weeks, they shall sustain the strike for as long as it will take to have their grievances addressed.
We are warning and we are giving an advice to wananchi in Embu County that anyone who has got any patient admitted in Embu County, you have only 12 hours to discharge your patient and take them to other counties effective tonight. Otherwise, tomorrow you will just collect your patient as a body, because nobody shall be liable in this particular county on matters healthcare management.
Zainab Mohammed, 247.
Now, two sets of twins from Kirimunga Day School in Kirinyaga Central Sub-County have wowed the village and the community, having scored grades of A- and B plain. Identical twins Davis Njoka and Dennis Muthi scored A- in the just-released examinations, while fraternal girl twins Alice Wangoi and Ann Wanjiku scored B plain. The two sets of twins attended the Day Secondary School, which is kilometers away from their homes, and have managed to surmount the challenges to get good grades, as Vera Alberta now tells us.
It was a day of dances and celebrations. Elated residents seen here carrying these two sets of twins shoulder high, celebrating a great performance in the recently released KCSE results.
Nimefurahia sana ni kupata grade B. Nimefurahia sana kupata B. Sikuwa natarajia.
Ni minus of 76 point. I was really determined to get that A minus. Furahia kupata grade ya A minus.
The twins say that they had been disappointed to be taken to a day school as their parents were unable to enroll them to their schools of choice after completing their primary education, but that did not hinder them from performing well in school, they say.
Nilipomaliza mtihani wangu wa KCP nilipata alama ya 341 marks, lakini nikaitwa shule ya upili ya Kiruka Boys, lakini sikuweza kwa sababu school fees was a demotivating factor because my friends were in national schools, but so walikuwa natusimanga, so I had no choice. In fact my aunt really motivated and akatuambia Kiramunge is the best school.
Nilikuwa nimehope kwenda shule kubwa, but Kiramunge was the only choice, and for sure Kiramunge is a school.
They're now hopeful of joining university to pursue the courses of their choice and achieve their dreams.
To do chemical engineering in University of Kenyatta or University of Nairobi.
Ningezapenda kuwa nurse. Nilikuwa natia bidii sana.
The two sets of twins say that despite going through several challenges, they worked hard and surmounted the challenges, and that led them to performing well.
Safari ya masomo imekuwa zito. Hasa ni shule ya kuenda unaenda unarudi, kunyeshewa na mvua ikuanga matatizo.
Kukunywa asubuhi na walikuwa nakosanga fees, na nilikuwa nawaambia hata wakikosa hiyo mambo yote wasome waeke bidii.
How pleasant. Congratulations to them. Let's now make sense of the sense, where despite a positive projection on the growth of the economy this year, businesses that typically thrive in the beginning of the year have recorded reduced sales faulted on the harsh economic times. A spot check done by our reporter Hibak Said revealed that bookshops and uniform traders are lamenting over poor sales, having businesses that dip in January wary over the possible sales for the rest of the year, and if this trend is to set the precedents for the coming months. Take a look.
Amidst the honking and midday rush at the Central Business District in Nairobi, lays concealed wary traders in select fields who largely depend on the January boom, a month that spells doom and reduced spendings for many businesses, except those selling school supplies and uniforms. However, against the grain 2024 has left players in the subsector with mixed feelings.
Kazi yetu si mbaya sana hii Januari tukiangalia, kama si tunauza hizi viatu za shule zingine unaweza pata wengine wananunua, so si nzuri kama last month hivyo tukicompare na wakati huu.
Januari ilikuwa poa sana. Ya rasia. This Januari imetujaganya kidogo. Lidogo sigine hatujaweka, halafu masapura ya laudi sijui hatukuwapatia ile tunapatayaga na nini na wholesale ya kupeleka kwa shule, so hapo tumeaguka kidogo.
With several supply chain constraints that have been worsened by a depreciating shilling and an unpredictable tax regime. They say change in policies have also worsened the situation, with many finding alternative means of earning an income.
Sometimes tunadeal na security firm, kuna technical, kuna wale wanafunzi wanaingia technical au ndio sana wana to maintain kulipa nyumba kufanya kazi zingine. Hiyo ndio wanatusaidia.
Try to tell them even they are understanding. Sukari imeenda juu, unga imeenda juu, wanajua tu.
Holding an even shorter end of the stick are traders whose sales are usually compromised in January, now finding it worse with the current bottlenecks.
Sema ijaanza vizuri sana juu watu naona wako harakati za kununua back to school. My uniform saa iko chini kidogo.
December hizi za urembo sports akina kambao, hizi za loafers, hizo zinaendanga vizuri sana, lakini wakati wa Januari tunauza hizi za tafis tu. Though aziendi na ile speed tuna expect.
Now they hope the rest of the year has better tidings, better at least than the first week of 2024. And as we tally up the winners and the losers in the business world so far, one thing for sure is that the economic depreciation is showing in the sales of even the biggest winners that we are always sure of. Is this probably going to forecast what we're going to see for the rest of the year? Hibak Said for TV 47 Nairobi.
We thank you for staying with the Daily Report. Time now for sports news. Remember, you can win a all expense paid trip to Mombasa courtesy of ClickBet and Radio 47. We thank you for joining us. The national volleyball teams are in camp at Nyayo Stadium in Nairobi ahead of the Africa Games qualifiers. Malkia Strikers and Wafalme kick-started their training this week ahead of their Egypt outing set for January 21st. The ladies' squad are the defending champions in the competition, and coach Japhet Munala is confident they will retain their title. The men's team missed the last two of the Africa Games, and they are seeking to emulate their compatriots in the continental showpiece. The two sides will set base at Nyayo National Stadium for 14 days before departing for the North Africa country.
We have to believe in ourselves and then believe in God and have faith and believe in your team. So I believe in Malkia Strikers so much. Kwa sababu ni team ukiambia ni direction tunaenda. Tukifanya hivi kama tuseme kama we have the best attackers. Maybe Moim kwa sababu most my position ni reception na ku cover backcourt. Mimi naambia mimi nikibeba nyuma mnimekie point hapo mbele. Akimake point not Moim point or Veronica point or Pamela point. This is for Malkia Strikers. So even ndio naambia mmoja akiamka the rest 5 support your mtu. That is why tunafanya hivyo, ndio unapata Malkia tunashinda. So all African qualifiers we are going to win. All African games tunaleta home. We believe in ourselves as Malkia Strikers.
Of them are already fit. Those who like KCB players, we started training on 27th.